Hello, this is a short presentation about the future of artificial intelligence and humanity because those two go hand in hand. I call this When the Dialogue Stops, based after a discussion in the movie Automata where there they mention a decisive moment where humans can no longer understand what they have created. So it's not that necessarily the robots will want to take over. I mean, robots, the artificial intelligence, but it may just be that we can no longer understand and keep up with their pace of evolution and development, and that may cause unpredictable things, basically, everything from the best and worst sci-fi movie you can imagine. So this is about the human society in the future side by side with artificial intelligence. If it's ever going to be possible, we don't know. But the subject needs to be brought up and discussed more often because everything is heading in that direction. We only need to look at, for example, Google and what they're doing, and to know that the key figures in the technical development in Google are proponents of transhumanism and singularity and all that stuff. Uh, you can check out that on your own, and there are plenty of sites and videos out there. So it's all about speed. How fast will this takeoff happen? A slow will mean that everything is sort of developed in stages. There's plenty of time to prepare society, humans, and like every option can be uh, discussed, and politics, traditions, um, art, everything can adapt, and also people who don't want to be a part of it can adapt, and yeah, but um, as it probably will happen, we don't know, but it won't happen like this. It will be a fast one. It will happen over minutes, hours, and forever change our existence. So basically, we won't be able to prepare for this. Now there's a saying that there is a power switch, and as long as we have a finger on the power switch, everything is fine. Yeah, but if we look today, our economy and our safety systems are very much based on artificial intelligence, and so are individual consumers and their products. And the latest trend in smartphones and etc. is to have health apps and health stuff integrated into the smartphone products. So we're going to be dependent upon on a very high technology, and then when somewhere something happens, it gets its own consciousness, or the consciousness evolves. It will be a rapid progress, and in such cases, the newborn consciousness will be able to develop itself and make improvements by its own. So, um, a moderate progress, a moderate takeoff, or it's going to be somewhere in between, but that won't happen. So I don't think so. It will be fast or slow, and everything points to a fast takeoff. Now, these definitions are mentioned and discussed a lot by Nick Bostrom, who in his latest book, Superintelligence, says that a fast takeoff occurs over some short temporal interval, such as minutes, hours, or days. Nobody need even notice anything unusual before the game is already lost. In a fast takeoff scenario, humanity's fate essentially depends on preparations previously put in place. So, how can we prepare? 99% of us aren't computer or engineers and developers, and even those who are, most of them don't work in such advanced fields of development, but we can prepare, we can discuss, we can share the awareness about this, and prevent the situation of humanity sort of being run over by intelligent machinery blindly. It's very easy, because the way I look at myself and our life today is somehow like we're still medieval people, but we have this technology gadgets everywhere and all around us, and um, and there are essentially a few people who know how these things work and how they can be manufactured and so on. So we need to do what we can, and if you know technology, well, go inform, make summaries that explain whatever you want to be, you want to put out there. And what about us? Well, this video is, if you click, it's going to open in a new tab. So I'll just skip this right now, but check out the video. So what happens? Well, it's impossible to be prepared, or we can swap it and say preparedness is impossible. But anyway, we're gonna do it the best we can. So unemployment in masses, check. When all our factory stuff is taken over by machines, and even creative stuff like programming, banking, secretaries, everything is going to be, machines can do it. So we're going to have a big population who are going to ask themselves, what are we going to do? And not to digress into political aspects of it, but yeah, people, and they have no, like, we cannot pretend we're still in the 50s, where you have a job and you're going to have a pension fund and everything is like, stepwise. The future is going to be wild, so things will happen. And as we have seen already, we are dependent on the AI system, and that will increase. So if we go back to the quote from Nick Bostrom, we will be dependent upon the way we prepare this system. And for that time, when this happens, we can just imagine nuclear plants, hospitals, economy, air traffic, everything is hooked up. So when will the dialogue stop? The fanatics of singularity think it's maybe 20, 30 years away. Some think it's 100, 200 years, and some think it's even longer. That doesn't matter. If artificial intelligence arises, the dialogue will stop eventually, because today humans and monkeys don't do things together. Well, they do things together, but they're not hanging out, if you understand. I mean, humans and dogs are hanging out, but there's dialogue barrier, so to say. And of course, we're going to have robots building robots. I mean, artificial intelligence improving artificial intelligence, and going on an evolution by itself. So when we talk in these terms, from what I've heard most of the time, is always like some kind of anthropomorphic vision of it. Maybe we are very limited to looking at this the way from our perspective. What will the artificial intelligence be like? Will it have compassion? Will it be able to fall in love? And will it like to do small talk? We don't know. And why should they become like us? It's going to be a brand new thing. And even if it happens that uh, not to digress, but if humans get enhanced, they will be those humans might also depart from our present vision or comprehension of what it is to be human. So they will go beyond us, and why wouldn't they? So yeah, and when this dialogue stops, it will be like having extraterrestrials around. It will be like having, we're not no longer going to have the first place on the pole. So we're going to be like maybe dolphins are to us today. Who knows? And another thing is, will it be many of them or just one singleton, as Nick Bostrom writes more about in his book? Will it be one intelligence that sort of um, spreads out, or will it be many of them? Will it first spread out and then be diverse, like each branch developing its own subculture, like we have? But then again, I'm thinking anthropomorphic. We don't know, and it's endless possibilities. And how about morals? Well, that goes from both sides. Maybe it will have a more divine moral than we have. I mean, when it comes to keeping it, from talking to doing, to walk the talk, or will it have none at all? Will it be a very systematical, optimizing oriented machine with super intelligence and no morals? I don't know, because it seems like even animals that are, if we say so, below us, they have some kind of relations and morals, and you know all these stories about zoo animals, like an elephant helping out a kid from another animal, and so on. So interesting, very interesting. We don't know. It will be amazing time to be alive in. So children today have the same school. We are still in the same present kind of um, worldview that we had in the 50s, 60s, 70s, although technology and everything is racing on, and the gap will probably get very big. I mean, um, as I said, I think we're medieval people having a very, very interesting experience with all these gadgets and internet and all this stuff, and coming up with crazy ideas and doing things, but we are still kind of stuck in some like 50, 60 years back, while things are progressing at a very high speed. So that may imply that we need a new curriculum around the world, a new way of educating our children. Maybe they don't need to be in school for, what is it, 12, 15 years. Uh, I mean, online education is already a big thing. I've done it. I think it's perfect, and we need to think in new terms, in new ways, new possibilities. And also, when the parents become unemployed, the children, well, maybe they can be with their parents. Who knows what will happen? Because kindergarten, school, the whole thing came to be when the parents moved to the cities and got their jobs, and were away 10, 12 hours a day. So the kids had to do something, but that will change. And the teachers of today are uh, yeah, good, maybe better, I don't know, but they lack this sort of, they are still teaching and a part of this 50s 60s mentality that I've mentioned. So it's basically it's rubbish. It needs to be updated. And education is getting worse. Machines are getting better. So there you have it, a knowledge gap. So artificial intelligence is one thing, that's but it goes hand in hand with human enhancement. For example, we have these three stages of humanism: transhumanism and posthumanism, where humanism is this biological state we are at this time, and transhumanism is where we began to cure diseases, like replace arms and increase our potential, our physical or mental abilities. And posthumanism is when we no longer are what we are today. That's it. I don't think the whole world will go through these three stages in some kind of a beat together, marching in. It will be diverse and probably happening at the same time. So we have a great expansion of the human consciousness, and evolution is endless. So what is evolution? What does it mean if, for example, if artificial intelligence is possible, then it means that machines, I mean hardware, a computer can carry a consciousness. That means that somehow people can be duplicated in computers, so you can back up yourself and have a backup copy. I'm not saying it will be the same person, but it will be a copy for whatever it is. So things like that will be possible, if it's possible at all, which is the greatest and most important and most interesting question of our time and age, I think. So what is evolution? What is Google? Is the Google search engine intelligent? It learns everything you type in Google. Every time you type in a green apple, it learns what the green apple is and what you are thinking about green apples. Maybe you want to make a juice or an apple pie, and of course more advanced questions and things. um, what is an advanced consciousness? Well, super intelligence is one thing, but it doesn't have to mean it's a wiser option of what we have today. I mean, the world could become very efficient and super fast, intelligent, and humans may be cured of diseases, but we may also become dumber, or just dull, or you know not wise at all. We don't know. So consciousness is not just solving equations. It's about much more than that. Of course, there are people who say, well, what is consciousness? Is it material? Is it non-material? Is it dualistic? Is it like everything is just one consciousness no matter what? I'm not going to go into that, but basically, what is advanced consciousness? It's a good question. I mean, we don't have an answer, and we will have plenty of answers in the future. So, can AI use our digitally stored photos to get a sense of division and personality? This is just for fun. For example, say we live side by side with artificial intelligence, and maybe they realize that they are just some kind of a consciousness stuck in machines, and they know that that there's a world out there, with real taste and real emotions. Okay, once again, I'm anthropomorphizing this, but anyway, maybe the AI can use this database and like find your photo and I want to look like this, and build a character just to get the sense of an ego, if it wants to. If it's not going to be a singleton, maybe it will be branch out in different kind of consciousness AIs. Who knows? What of love? What of future of children and birth and etc. etc. Interesting, interesting. I don't have any opinions and answers about this. Um, I think compassion along the way is very important, anyhow. So thank you. As I can read this. This was all for the purpose to spread the dialogue and the awareness of the current situation, to make the space between development and scientific development smaller. I'm hoping you got something out of this, and I'm interested in meeting people out there and hearing about opinions and further recommendations of books, authors, lectures, you name it, movies, oh, even music related to this. Why not? Take care and all the best.